Welcome to Pro Athletes Unfiltered. In this series, we're going to be comparing and contrasting what it takes to be a professional athlete in each sport. Every episode, we will be following a top pro, spending a true day in the life, from their home to their training to challenges that they face to become one of the greats. They will put me through intense training regimens, and in the end, will challenge me to see if I have what it takes to make it in their sport. Get an insider's look into the vast differences in every sport, from fitness to financials to sacrifices and mental fortitude. My name is Kinsey, a professional stunt woman and extreme sports athlete, and I'll be your host. In today's episode, we have athlete Frankie Dettori. Frankie Dettori will go down in history as one of the greatest jockeys of all time, earning over $212 million in prize money throughout his career. At age 53, he is still racing all around the world, showing the potential longevity of an athlete in this sport. Frankie Dettori is 5'4" and 135 pounds, and this is surprisingly heavy for a jockey in this sport, showing that it's extremely beneficial to be petite in size as a professional jockey. Today is an exciting day because we are at the Santa Anita Race Track and we're diving into the life of a professional jockey. It is absolutely fascinating, and I'm sure a lot of you don't know what goes on behind the scenes of a jockey and the millions and millions and millions of dollars behind it. So come with me and let's find out. Welcome, Frankie Dettori.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very good. You are like just the guy of the sport. Everybody's like, oh, you're interviewing Frankie? I'm like, wow, I'm so lucky, apparently.
Well, listen, I travel the world. Racing has been my life. You know, my dad was a jockey. Didn't like much to go to school.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had ponies growing up from early age, 5, 6, 7. Started going to the stables and started galloping horses, and I got hooked. What's not to like, you know, the speed of this amazing creature, these racehorses. I mean, this ball of energy, you know, 1,000 pounds of energy, explosive. Or the crowd, the excitement of racing. So I got addicted to it, and it can be very dangerous. I mean, been in race with one of my colleagues died. Several jockeys, friends have been in a wheelchair. You know, I've had numerous injuries. I think I broke about 10 bones in my body. I'm like one of the lucky ones. The excitement of winning or competing overpowers the danger of the sport, because really, if you knew when you were going to fall, you wouldn't do it, because you know, it hurts.
Yeah. Okay, so you have fallen during the race, or is it usually in preparation?
Both. Obviously, when you race during the race, you go much faster.
Yeah.
You race with other horses. In general, horses, they'll do everything to avoid you. They'll jump you, they try to skip you. But sometimes, if you happen to fall in front of them, you will get a club with their hoof, or sometimes they stand on you. They can't avoid you.
Right, and yeah, this was mentioned when I was just watching your race, that I actually never thought of it before, that jockeys have passed away during a race. And so you said you've experienced that.
Yes.
What's that like?
I was a young kid. I was in a race, and basically a fellow of mine just fell, and he kind of bounced off the ground, and the horse next to it just really hit him full on with his chest, and we wear a cushioned body protector.
Yeah.
But that doesn't stop you from a violent impact. You know, it's not.
When the horse is running.
It's not a complete armor that will protect you for everything. On average, around the world, these 2 jockeys a year would die.
2 jockeys
We're probably
a year.
the most fatality sport in any other sport in the world.
Wow. Not only do I see how taxing it is on your body, this is a year-long sport, but also the rewards are quite incredible.
Like, you come in a British Cup day where there is 50,000 people. You happen to ride the favorite, you know, there's a million people watching you on TV, and the atmosphere is electric. I mean, no different to, I guess, a quarterback in doing a pass in the end zone. I mean, you feel the excitement, and that one gets you hooked, you know.
Yeah, you're addicted to it. Is that why you haven't retired?
Yeah, well, I did retire for a week, and I didn't like it at all. So
he has been a jockey now for 36 years. So
I did 36, now 37.
37 years.
Yes.
So obviously a lot longer than any professional athlete that we've interviewed. So why do you think...
I'm 53, I started at 16. Wow. So basically the magical age for a jockey is around 50. So I got to the end of this year, when I got to 53, I thought, well, I still feel good. I'm still winning, and
You have very youthful energy.
yeah.
Like, you still have it in you.
Unfortunately, I told everyone in Europe I was going to retire, and they made a big thing, the massive life-size statue of bronze was unveiled by the Queen, all of that, and so I thought, well, I've only got one option left, is go to America, where I started here. I started here.
This was your last resort?
It was, I like
Come
it.
to America,
I like it.
Oh, okay.
And what's not to like? The weather is fantastic. You know, I hope that you guys shown the public this beautiful, amazing race course.
Oh, it's gorgeous with the mountains in the back.
And the tradition, you know, and I love it. I love it. I love everything of it. And I wish I would have done this 10 years ago.
We're learning so much about the inside life of a jockey today, and what we've realized is that you've got a whole team, just like any other sport. So part of this team and organization, you have a really important key player, which is the horse trainer. So we have one of the best horse trainers, Doug O'Neill. He actually has won 2 Kentucky Derbies, and Frankie is going to be riding some of your horses today, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. So give me a little inside scoop of what it's like to be a horse trainer.
You got to love horses, of course, right?
Okay,
It's
right.
Pretty much a 7-day-a-week, 24-hour-a-day gig, and but I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's so key. Jockeys like Frankie Dettori, who's an absolute legend, as you guys are all getting to realize. And from a horse trainer standpoint, anytime you can get a guy like Frankie Dettori on your horse, it's a beautiful moment. So.
Right, and so what is the process from you acquiring a horse as a baby to training it to get to a point where Frankie Dettori can ride it?
You know, it's a real inexact science. You'll have owners that will breed horses. You can go to auctions and buy them at auctions, but generally we try to buy yearlings, horses that aren't broke yet, and we'll saddle break them, bridle break them, and then they start running generally in their middle of their 2-year-old season.
Okay.
And then if they get good enough, then the likes of Frankie Dettori, you'll reach out to him and have him come work them and hopefully ride them when they start racing.
Okay, and so where is the money made as far as the horse racing? Is it in the prize money, or is it on selling to their offspring to be able to reproduce, or where's the money made on that?
Well, you know, it's called the Sport of Kings for a reason. It's really to own a horse. Most of the owners will say they're not in it for the money.
Yeah.
They're more in it for the love of the horse and the love of the competition and the love of the process of seeing these beautiful animals raised and broke and then they start competing. So the bigger the race, the more prize money there's involved. But, but again, most of the owners would say they're not in it for that. But races like the Kentucky Derby, now it's up to a $5 million purse. You got the Saudi Cup, which is a $20 million purse. So there's some big.
So one race in Saudi, you can win $20 million. That's unreal.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
For one horse
race.
takes that?
Yeah. It's 60% of that, so $12 million to the winner.
Okay.
And then the rest gets broken down to the other horses that run behind the winner. It's a big team that goes into it, and it's a lot of fun.
And so these horses are actually passionate about the sport and like to run, and if they don't, they go and find another sport, which is
100%.
amazing. Animals are so intelligent and so incredible.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Now
course.
I would love if you can show us kind of the insides of the barn and give us
Here's a horse name, Don't Swear Dave.
Don't Swear Dave.
He was purchased at a sale. I think we paid like $120,000 for him as a younger horse.
$120,000 for a horse. This is a very, very expensive
Some
car.
people spend or art. Some people spend on art. Yeah.
So I would love to know the story about a horse named Lava Man. You guys bought him for $40,000. He ended up winning $6 million.
Yep.
Right? And then he ended up coming back to the barn and just roaming around and feeding himself. Right? Am I getting this story correct?
Yeah, there's something there. Yeah, you could do a documentary on him. He was a horse. We actually claimed him. We purchased him for $50,000. And like you said, he made over $5 million.
Wow.
And then he ran all the way up till he was 9. And then we retired him. And at the farm, he just wasn't happy and it wasn't
He
thriving.
didn't want to retire.
Didn't want to retire. So we brought him back.
I get that. You got a lot in professional athletes.
Yeah.
And these horses are professional athletes.
Yeah.
So this sign here, if you guys can see it, says detention. So this horse is actually not in trouble. He will be running today, so they're monitored 24 hours before they run. I remember being in detention, but it's a little bit different. I wasn't going to go do something really amazing. I was just in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're actually inside the locker room of the jockey. So every single jockey has their own slit, their own cubby, and they actually have their own valet. This is a valet here for Juan Hernandez, and so he kind of takes care of everything. Make sure they have their silks, their boots, make sure everything is ready for the race. So let's check out the jockey locker room. Let's get a little nosy and check out some of the tack and things that they have in their locker. Okay, so it looks like we have some saddles here. This saddle is so light, probably so expensive. I wonder what the cost of this is, but it's tiny. Look at the size of this. This is what they're riding on. This is their stirrups here. This is unreal. I'm guessing the weight wants to be as light as possible so that they can go as fast as possible. They've got some gorgeous ones here. Is this a saddle?
That's a saddle.
We said this doesn't even weigh a pound. This is where their feet go, and they're running so fast. Imagine, this is scary. This is dangerous for a jockey. Bit of a bigger saddle for me today than the little ones we were looking at, but this is my horse, Hurricane. Okay,
there you go. And you'll pick up your reins. Technically, you want to have your feet, just your tippy toes right there.
Okay.
Knees in.
Okay. They won't let me ride their multi-million-dollar horses, so they got
So
me
we're gonna
this
take
instead.
this
They don't trust me enough.
And we're gonna make a loop for you. So I'm gonna twist it actually. And
Okay.
you're gonna hold it like that.
Okay.
Yep. And you're gonna push his head. Lean all the way
And
forward.
they have their knees up,
Yep.
like,
Yeah.
woo! Yeehaw!
Don't forget to whip.
Oh, yeah. So, God,
Good luck.
their knees. Okay, come on, Hurricane.
You are a trooper.
Woo!
Awesome. I would put my money on you.
Honestly, I think I have a future.
So let's go sign some papers.
Oh, yeah, seriously.
I'm gonna pick you up
I didn't sign them.
You're ditching your talent agent for a jockey.
We also need a sponsor because my saddle's a little worn in. If anybody would like to sponsor Hurricane and I, we need a new equipment. We have got the whips here. Okay. And their goggles. They're obviously going so fast, so they have to wear these beautiful goggles. Of course, helmet. So in football, you wear padding, but actually as a professional jockey, you wear padding as well. This vest here is to protect them and make sure they're safe. So you actually have to wear this. So we've got helmets, we've got vests, we have a tiny little saddle, goggles, a little whip, and they're pretty shine shoes and they're silks. And then they're ready to go race. So now I think I could be a jockey. And so if there was a new jockey, if someone who wanted to become a jockey, what would you recommend? Like, how do you get started in this path?
Everybody asks me, what would you tell a young jockey now? But the most important thing is the love of the horse. And we have this beautiful animal, so sensitive. I mean, we use horses for blind people, deaf people, people with special needs. They have this sixth sense. Technique you can learn, style you can learn, but the love for the horse you gotta have.
Yeah.
And if you have that, you're halfway there. So that's the lesson number one.
Okay, so they have to be young and fit and ready to ride.
Yeah, and love the horse. Yes, exactly. And obviously, what plays a lot in my sport is weight. Obviously everybody's so much taller and bigger, and food is accessible everywhere. So it's very hard to find people to, I'm one of the lucky ones. It's a difficult job to get into because the pool of people can do this job is smaller and smaller.
There is actually an eating disorder issue in the jockey world just because they have to stay so lean. Have you seen that among your peers?
Well, I've tried this, and I've been racing for 36 years. I've tried everything. Diuretics, laxatives, hot baths, saunas, that's all good. I was bulimic for 10 years straight.
Wow.
Between 30 and 40, I was making myself sick. Not because I liked it.
Yeah.
It's because the scale doesn't lie, and and it wasn't pleasant,
Yeah.
But
because they're so the weight limits are what, 121 to 124?
Yes, I mean, it's only so much weight you can put on a horse, otherwise you break his back.
Yeah.
And but I tried everything, but like I said, now with nutritionists, they way of life, and you can learn a lot from it. And in these last 10 years, I've been just following a good diet, exercising a lot, and my weight is good.
Yeah. So what is your workout regimen? What does your week look like when you're not racing to prepare for a race?
Basically, we ride, like you said, in the morning about 3 or 4 times a week. I do my 1 hour in the gym every day on the treadmill for 2 reasons: weight reasons and keeping myself fit, because now that I passed 50, I have to keep up with these younger guys, so I can't let myself
go. Yeah, you got to be on that treadmill going.
Yeah, it's not a chore. You know, when you go to the gym, it should be part of your lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, that I embrace it, you know.
I also feel like
good.
it helps the mental side.
Yeah,
for me.
it does.
It's very important.
Yes. So, you know, I embrace it. Some people hate it, but I like it. For me, I like it.
Wow, amazing. And so something I was absolutely shocked by is the financial side
Yes.
of this sport. Do you know how much prize money overall that you've won across your career?
No idea.
No idea?
No
I
idea.
think I saw something around 500 million.
I don't think it'd be that much. I would say probably around 200, but out of that, we only get 10% because
Right.
actually I'm just a driver.
You're the driver. You told me earlier you're an employee.
I'm an employee, right? So 80% goes to the owner of the horse.
Right.
I am the driver, so I'm entitled to my 10%.
Yeah.
And the trainer who trains the horse is entitled to 10%. That's the split ratio. And so compared on the sport, you know, I made 20 million in 36 years is not that exciting, you know.
That's amazing.
Well, when you look at football players,
Yeah.
you know, or soccer players, they earn that in 2 weeks, and they don't risk their lives. Now listen,
Yeah, okay.
I am very blessed. I don't do it for the money. Obviously, money pays the bills. I do it because I love. It's in my blood, and I'm addicted to it. And yes, that's why it's hard to let go. That's why I'm still doing it.
Something we talked about off
Yeah.
camera, which I'm very interested in now because I'm a pilot, is you talked about you getting into a plane crash.
Yes.
A plane crash landed and caught fire late this afternoon. Police say that happened around 4:20 as the single-engine Cessna was landing. 4 people were on board at the time, but the FAA says the plane, though, was destroyed by the fire.
Mind touching on that?
So basically, I used to have a twin-engine, 6-seater plane.
Okay.
What? I didn't fly myself. I'm not as good as you.
No, you could.
I just sat
You
in
could.
I just sat in the back. I rang a friend of mine, Jockey. We were going to the same place. I said, would you like to come keep me company, right?
Yeah.
So we fly together an hour because we both flied in at the same place. On takeoff, something happened. Went up 100 feet, not enough power, belly flopped into the ground. And you know, I never thought in a million years remotely that I was going to survive. You know, people say you see it in life. I didn't see all that. I had the feeling of disappointment. I'm 29 years old, I'm 6 months old, baby. Why are you taking me now? I was just disappointed. I've got so much to give. Why? You know, I was just disappointed. My pilot died. I caught my face and I broke my leg. And I had this 180 vision, but I couldn't focus on anything. My mate kind of kicked me out of the hole. He crawled out and he dragged me away 30 feet and the plane went and boom, exploded, both engines, because it was full of fuel, both wings.
Yeah.
So I was lucky twice.
There's also think that day you called your friend and asked him to come with you, and what if he
Yeah,
didn't?
exactly. I was
And
lucky
you-
twice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I owe my life to
he
that
was
guy.
your guardian angel. Wow.
But yeah, I am. So
I'm so sorry.
was
That's
blessed.
a very
Yep.
traumatic situation. Wow, but yeah, you're very, very blessed, and you had so much life to give, and
Yes.
now you've been still riding for, that was when you were 29.
yeah.
And you had a 6
And then,
month-old
you know
baby.
what, I'm Italian. I thought, when I get to 30, to treat myself, I'm going to buy myself a Ferrari. And when I got out of hospital with my crutches, I was 29 and a half. I went straight to the garage. I said, I want one now. I don't care.
You're like, life, you have to
Yes.
live life. I have to live life to the fullest.
Listen, we got 4 minutes
Okay.
for race 3. I'm in race 4.
Okay,
So I want you to come down and watch me. Is that all right?
absolutely. Let's
okay.
do it.
Keep tuned. I'll see you in a minute.
Okay, let's do it. Come on, guys. Okay, so now we're in a really special place, and this is where the horses go before the race. So I'm here with Jeff, and he's gonna give us all the details on what happens with the horse before the race.
Yeah, so this is the receiving barn, and this is where the horses come pre-race. So they come and assemble. They get a 20-minute call that they need to be here in this barn, and that's 1 hour before the race they're going to run in. So they come into this barn and they assemble. They actually weigh the horses. So there's a scale right over here that they weigh the horses.
What's the typical weight of a thoroughbred?
Usually around 1,000 to 1,100 pounds. If you see 900, 800, that's a little light.
Okay.
And if you see 1,200 plus, that's a little heavy.
Okay,
So,
okay.
But then the grooms get these numbers so people on TV can see what color and what number that
For
correlates.
the betting.
Yeah, and then they have horse identifiers that make sure it's the correct horse that's running in the race.
Okay.
And then also what they do is they do a pre-race test just to make sure there's no drugs in the system.
How often is drug use in the horse racing world?
So there's therapeutic drugs, and then there's also drugs that are illegal or not
performance drugs.
Performance drugs. So I'd say it's very, very rare. The numbers, if you do the statistics, are very low. Once in a while, there's an overage for therapeutic drugs, but for the most part, it's not near what the press would like to make it seem.
Oh, okay, wow, not the answer we wanted. I wanted to know the juicy details.
Sorry.
Okay, wow, well really, thank you so much, Jeff. So this is before the race, they come here, and now let's get to the race. So we're actually gonna get to film the weigh-in process of the jockeys. We had to go way high up to the stewards and get permission. There was all this back and forth, but they're letting us in, so let's do it. Let's watch them get weighed in. So they have to weigh in with all of their equipment on. So they've got their vest, all of their tack, which is wild. So I think they have to weigh under 124 with all the equipment, but we'll find out. So you passed? How much does this weigh exactly? Maybe a pound?
Pounding and not 2
pounds. And so all of your equipment, so you weigh what, 118, and then you have your equipment?
Yeah, about 170.
Wow.
And I left this morning, I went to the gym and I lost 2 pounds.
This morning? Yeah. So he ran this morning just to lose 2 pounds. And there's no off season, so you always have to weigh this weight. So you can never indulge.
Don't let myself go more than 5 pounds,
Okay.
even on holidays.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Because otherwise it's too hard to get them back.
Perfect. So he passed the
And
weigh-in today.
you should know this because you girls, you're always on a diet.
Yeah, we are always.
This is a
But I can gain 5 pounds. It's okay. I let myself.
I see all that.
So we are with the dynamic duo. We have Doug and Frankie. So we have Doug as the trainer and Frankie is the jockey. So this is important because Doug is going to bring out his horse that he trains, and then he has to give a debrief to Frankie, who's going to ride him in the next 15 minutes. So they have this time right now to debrief and go over the horse that he's riding and everything that he's doing. So
And that's where I say, Frankie, you're the man. Go win, baby. And it does looks like the three's got some speed,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You got
I
some
can
speed.
control it.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
if he goes really fast, I can see off him.
Yeah.
And if he gives it to me, I'll take it.
I like it. It's about as easy as that. Now
it's easy as that?
Easy as that.
So this horse has got some speed.
Yes.
She's got some speed. Yep.
So do you guys feel like you have a good chance of winning this one?
We have.
Yeah, I feel it. Yeah.
I mean, I may be biased, but you are my favorite horse trainer and this is my favorite jockey. So I think that this dynamic duo, we're about to win this one. I should put some money on it.
I like the. I'll whatever you're selling, I'll buy. I like it. I like it. Yes.
And that's going to be 3 for Doug O'Neill, Phenom, and Frankie Dettori. Just an afternoon workout. Wins by 8 lengths.
Oh, and a side note is this race is actually named after our show, Pro Athletes Unfiltered. So this is a good race. I'm absolutely blown away about the life of a professional jockey, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We have episodes coming out every single week with a new professional athlete, so make sure you like, subscribe, and come back every single week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. What got you into boxing in the first place?
I used to fight in the streets when I was a kid.
Really?
You ready? Pop up. Go. Like a pro.
In rehab, your bunkmate was Steve-O.
Yeah.
From Jackass.
Yes.
Okay, pretty sick.
Doing was they thought my parents were forcing a lifestyle on me. They were like, okay, you're gonna be a professional athlete and we're gonna cash out on you.
Yeah.
And it was completely the opposite.
Yeah, dude. She was lit.
I did feel a lot more zen.
Yeah.
I felt smooth.
Exactly.
Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you on the next episode of Pro Athletes Unfiltered.